What's going on, YouTube? Earth Power here with CVH.
How's it going, everybody?
We have another match in the Season 2 bracket tournament, trying to find the best deck. Today we have Water, Fire, Nature Tempo versus Forcive Deckout. Profiles are linked down below. Definitely go check them out.
Yeah, this is going to be a great match. As we mentioned in the profiles, these are two decks that you saw before in a certain style in Season 1. They both got pretty intense facelifts. Deckout got 2 civilizations added and is now not just Darkfire, but has a lot of cool tech that you can see in the profile, as Carl mentioned. And Water, Fire, Nature is still the same exact game plan, but with a lot of cool new card choices, a lot of fun tech. Earth Stomp Giant is now a main threat, less on the top end, more cool stuff in the mid game. I mean, check the profile out, but it's going to be cool to see what these additions do for both of these decks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm excited. Water, Fire, Nature has been one of my favorite decks on the channel forever, and we could take them into the match if you want.
Yeah.
But it's been one of my favorite decks on the channel for a long time, and excited to get back into it now with Season 2 and pairing it up against and it's weird because like deck out, you talk about like what are deck out's bad matchups, and I don't know that it necessarily has one or it has all
It's
of them.
it's
Like
definitely good against control. I think we can agree on that because control doesn't apply
yeah,
enough pressure.
yeah, for sure. But the other side of that too is that deck out, like if you know you're playing against deck out, like you can kind of formulate your game plan accordingly. The difference being now is that Lost Soul exists in the deck, so
Yeah,
that's a
which is
threat for anybody trying
huge.
to hold off. Yeah,
Yeah, and also
trying
like
to
I mean
stay.
there are some cards that just sort of give deck out the hands, like Petrova Alzonius in particular would be not good. It only has Bazagazil to
Yeah,
sort of answer one.
yeah,
Um,
and we saw that in Season 1.
Yeah, but theoretically, it has just varying degrees of okay to good matchups against anything aggressive. Because really, at that point, it's about answering all the threats in a timely fashion. Um, Rush, the pressure is on, but if you can stave off that initial onslaught, technically you're good to go. This deck that you're playing, the tempo deck, can apply more consistent pressure. So while it doesn't give you that first 3 turns, like, oh my god, am I gonna die? It's really never going to let up because it's got the card draw and it's got the sustainability to give deck out a problem as long as the game goes on.
Yeah, it's storming outside, so you
Ooh,
guys might. Dog. He does not like thunder and loud noises.
it's okay. I think
That or
Discord cuts it out as soon as something gets too loud, so we're good.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Good. But yeah, guys. Hopping into the match here. It's one of those matches that's hard to talk about until it's happening because I don't know that either one of these decks has a distinct advantage. If tempo's out, great. The one thing about deck out now is that a lot of the early turn removal has been taken out. The deck had a ton of weenie removal in Spastic Missile, Crimson Hammer.
Spastic Missile. Oh, so
Yeah,
it did
yeah,
out. Yeah, it did, didn't it?
sure did. Death Smoke, things like that, that just let it 1-for-1 very early on. A lot of those cards ended up getting cut this time around for the other 2 civilizations. So,
Yeah.
uh,
You see here, me not
you
having
know,
an answer to Quixotic means it's going to take at least 1 free shield.
right. And doubling up on
Ooh,
the
that's
other
huge.
Quixotic, but yeah, having unfortunately Burst Shot only takes out the 1, but still good.
Yeah, at least it's 1. Terrapit would have done the same thing. So I'm happy about seeing any shield triggers really in this matchup, and I'm even going to use a snare early to just not take any more hits. There are 4 snares in the deck.
Yeah, and that's the card that took over for Crimson Hammer Spastic Missile. Snare says, I don't care how much power you have, just get rid of you. The deck's never
Mhm.
attacking shields, so
Ooh, the clamp.
screw it.
That's huge for me. And the thing I'm worried about here would have been Earth Stomp Giant, especially if I used my snare. Wow, you don't have a lot going on. Bronze Arm is going to swing for 1.
No, yeah. Now I've emptied my hand playing 3 creatures and getting clamped while also being on the draw. Uh, or being on the play takes me out of a hand this
Yeah.
turn, and I
You
top a
managed
Jigalzor, which does nothing. Yeah.
the Jigalzor. I guess maybe you could have held it, but I understand not doing it too.
Yeah, manning it for 2 turns, or not manning it and being at 4 mana for 2 potential turns and not putting any threats on board was bad, I thought.
Oh, that's good.
And it paid off here,
Yeah.
Ulcus and Quixotic ended up working out, but, um, holding on to that Jigauzo I don't think was going to be correct because this turn I
Yeah.
would have wanted to play Hulkus at
Yeah,
4 mana,
you would have
so
managed it anyway. I just think I'm out of. I was out of discard that I could have played that turn. so you could always mana it before the Lost Soul. But
Yeah, yeah,
Foul's gonna get back Burst Shot, so telegraphing that that is my line next turn,
yeah,
which is kind of
absolutely. And I'm
interesting, you know?
yeah, and I
I'm actually not sure
draw.
that that
I
was right.
think. Well, I draw something that I think had 2,000 power. So, um,
Oh, fair. That's a
I'm
fair point.
not gonna show the class here. That or it's something big, and
But I mean,
either way, it's
I can
still
already
nothing I
attack
can play.
over one of these, and I feel like I could use some other weenie removal on the other. Maybe getting back Snare in case you had top decked an Earth Stomp was better there, but Pyrofighter is annoying for me. Let's hope I have that Lost
Yeah,
Soul that we talked about.
yeah. Fire off the top was good there.
My hand is
Don't know what the other
huge.
card in my hand is. You're gonna need the Lost Soul here, and I think it ended up in mana early, so
The other
or at
card
least
has to
one
be
of them
that
did.
2000 or less thing, or maybe it's an Aqua Surfer or something that you held. Um,
Yeah, we're talking about whether or not you have a blocker or any sort of.
what
There's
did
no
I
other discard, so it's just Lost Soul.
did I tap anything for 4 yet? Am I just
No, you haven't yet.
okay.
Thrash Crawler, yeah.
No, I
So
Eureka
Thrash,
Charger. That's what happened.
yeah, Eureka Charger into Thrash Crawler.
Got it.
Yeah,
That
Thrash Crawler
works.
gives you a turn here. Gonta off the top is not bad. I'm still putting you on kind of the back foot. At the end of the day, you don't necessarily want to Lost Soul, but I think that's just the obvious play here
Oh,
because you got it
I
back.
would
You
want to
got
do
it. You got it back with Thrash, didn't you?
that. Unclear.
I'm
If I
very,
have it, I think I do it.
yeah. I'm
I would
very,
just be thinking about what your top deck's answers are. You don't have Corile in the deck. There's one Winnax, Surfer is an out, but you only have 5 mana, so it wouldn't be live this turn.
right. Yeah, Lost Soul's the a very obvious play. I know you're doing it. I think we're just might be considering mana if you go to 9 next turn. What does that look like? But
Yeah,
I'm very you got Lost Soul back with Thrash. I'm 99% sure.
yeah. I mean, my hand is big enough
And
to
yeah,
where I think I can afford to mana something if I'm concerned about making like
yeah,
2 card plays like Logic Cube, etc. In the future turns.
yeah. And that's what this whole turn is right now for you. I vaguely remember this, and you and Spencer sitting there just talking about what the future play looks like.
Proclamation,
Uh,
huh?
all right. Maybe it was proc out of the. It was
Okay.
proc instead of
Yeah, I don't know.
proc.
I don't know if I had a
Yeah.
soul. But Pyrofighter's not looking super threatening
Well,
here,
that
and I do
means
like having a shield.
yeah, yeah. Bronze arm gets me to 6, which is nice. And presents the card with Pyro to be able to take out the foul next turn.
There we go.
Um,
Oh, Jesus
oh,
Christ.
oh, we got him.
That's what
Oh,
you
we got him
held.
with
It
the
wasn't a
Arcade
small thing
Delacerna.
at all.
Oh man, it's coming back.
First Arcade
What a
Della
play!
Serena of the tournament,
I
everybody.
I feel like I'm watching it live. Holy moly, what a play!
That
And
one
now,
hurt.
yeah, you're just sad. Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. I had to do it, everybody. I mean, I think I did. I'm curious what people say in the comments. I feel like I had to take that Lost Soul because it's really never getting better, and it is solid.
Oh yeah.
If yeah, it's a 2-for-1,
I mean,
and
you knew I had Pyro
yeah,
and another creature. Like
yeah.
it was the best play at that point with a shield on board and a blocker, like
And even
against a
if I can
bronze arm.
stall, like the longer I wait, the bigger chance that you do draw an Arcade and hold it for that. So I mean, no better time like the present. But Arcade Elisarn is about to just eat my Thrash Crawler.
Sure is.
Unless you win the game off the top. Let's see.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, Hulkus.
Hulkus. Oh, you do.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Surely
Love
I
to
wouldn't
see
be
it.
that lucky. Proceeds to be that lucky. Wow, Arcade Elisarna stealing the game, man.
Heck yeah. Shout outs to that card. Wasn't seen in a single deck in season one. I think we jammed it in 2 or 3 this season, and
Yeah.
it's posing. It's imposing. That's the whole point. And I think I did a really good job. I mean, even here is like you and I commentating it after the fact when we should have known that I had it in hand because you were on the receiving end of it a few weeks ago. But that whole thing of just not telegraphing it is so important. And I think in live match play, it's hard to do. Like it's hard to draw it and then like it's something that's not in your hand that you're just holding on to for the sake of holding on to it.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
think
it
I got
kind of worked
lucky.
out, but like also your mana count helped there because at that point
That's what
I
I was.
thought,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
I didn't know it wasn't a second pyro because I would have died, I think. But I did think I got the burst shot back, and then you held something, so I was like, okay, he doesn't want something else to die for free. Granted, I don't think I should have got burst shot back at all. I think snare was better in retrospect because at the worst, you draw something threatening like earth stomp, and I have snare, and I can just attack over something with foul. And burst shot eats my whole turn, which isn't great.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I could have always done the attack with foul and play snare. Like burst shot was only good against something else small off
Well,
the top.
so well, that's the thing is that's the other side of that. Burst shot is the guaranteed I'm gonna get rid of at least two things next turn, possibly three. And if it takes me off of three, it's clearly the better call. Like
Odds are
I
too
think it
low.
is. See, I mean, maybe you look at like
Four
Modify Nature's
bats.
list.
I don't
It's
know.
the majority of this deck is under 2000 or 2000 or under power. So
Yeah, you got a point. Needless to say, because of that, I thought you were holding something small, and it could have also been a surfer because you were only at 5. So a lot of things that aren't. And you could have just held
yeah,
like a searing wave to bait me, which I think is totally valid. Make me lost soul the wave so you don't get hit
yeah.
later.
Daring
Um,
Wave is a critical fire man in this match.
this is interesting. It looks like I missed my light mana for turn 3 snare on Ganta. Snare exists largely to deal with Ganta early, and I was not able to do it. So I'm gonna be in a rough spot here.
Yeah, he mana one, which tells me you might have the second.
Well, I managed it on turn 3 instead of turn 1.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So, obviously you were looking for
Yeah,
just
yeah.
straight light mana. Didn't
Yeah.
happen. So
I
I'm
mean, if I have
wondering if there
to,
because I can't imagine you would have thrown it down like that if you
yeah.
didn't have the second. But
If I had to, I might have put the first one down on 1. If I just drew the second, then yeah, I might have done it like that. Now I'm scared to use a snare because I think Earth Stomp is probably in my immediate future, and that's going to require an answer right when it's played.
yeah, absolutely.
Just use Proclamation to take a shield fewer this turn. And another Bronze Arm, nice. Dodged the old turn 4 Earth Stomp, but I'm getting gaunted.
Yeah, Logic Cube here is checking my list or your list.
Well, I can
Um,
see mine.
yeah,
God.
just just checking for triggers. We gotta
Oh
make sure
yeah,
we
yeah.
counter triggers here.
True. Very
But the
true.
other side of this, I mean, what's the call here? Because my immediate inclination is grabbing Blizzard if you don't have it. Um,
Makes sense. I
because
really
I
don't
don't
know.
know what at 5 deals with this board effectively. I mean, the hope is that you have a volcano charger or something else that you can deal with a Gauntlet. That or you grab another snare and hope to have a 2-drop, but the deck doesn't really have any. So, and you don't want to be licks this turn.
Yeah, I'm actually going to consult the deck list right now. Blizzard would be good. I just need to find something to do this turn that doesn't... Like, I need removal now, because my fear now, like you didn't have Earth Stomp, is, okay, it's going to be Jigalzor. I searched for
Flash.
Slash, so I'm thinking that means I have Apocalypse Vice. I need to get to it the turn after this. Maybe I can
Yep.
slash and kill something.
Yep. You can slash and also play snare. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if I can't play anything good along with Snare, which I really can't, there's no good 2-cost
Yeah.
spells for me
Yeah.
here.
Setting aside the blue and light mana, and
In case you're
flash out
curious,
either.
watching at home, there's no Crimson Hammer or Spiral Gate in the list that I could have searched for, so just in
Yeah.
case you were wondering if you hadn't seen the profiles. So, but there
Yeah.
is 2 Apocalypse Vice. There are 2 Apocalypse Vice even.
Well, that and even if you don't have APOC, Blizzard handles this whole board. Either way, I think you're in a good spot next turn as long as you don't die.
Yeah. Taking a Jigalzor. That's one nice thing about the new version of Waterfire Nature Tempo is there aren't like a ton of double breaking speed attackers, so
Yeah.
that one feels good. And we are gonna go with a snare to not
Yep.
take all of my shields next turn and hope that whatever you play is small enough that I think Apocalypse Vice could deal with it.
Yeah, and I think that's my thought process now too. Is I mean, obviously, if I can jam Earth Stomp, that's the card to play. Hitting
Yeah.
one off Bronze Arm Tribe is not great, but
You
Swap will bring
kind
it
of get
right
there.
out. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, Earth Stomper second Jigalzor would have been super unfortunate. But I mean, here,
Nope.
you kind of had it. Well, you just had to break one less shield. And you
Yeah.
still
No
have 2
play
in
off
hand.
of 2 in hand and no blue mana.
Who needs it?
Didn't didn't have a 3-drop there off of after the swap, which was, I guess, unfortunate, but tells me I might be holding on to a Hulkus or something that just wasn't worth putting in mana that turn.
Yeah. I don't even have the time to Lost Soul because I'm staring down lethal on board, and also I'm like shaking in my boots right now because I got Arcadella Serenade last game, so I'm like I might never discard another card again.
Well, it makes me wonder too when you search for triggers, like what you might have down, because that could have been the heads up play for the. I
Yeah,
mean, slash charge is probably correct either way, but could have been the heads up play for just trying to take me off of a creature, knowing if you had like hit or burst shot down, if depending on
yeah,
my attack order, you could take out another creature and save a shield.
yeah. It's a good
So
point.
deep in the
Um,
tank again, though. I
I
think
mean
that
these
the
are tough
obvious answer,
plays.
yeah, the deck's playing less Terror Pit, right? It's two.
Two Terror Pits, four
Yeah,
snares, two Apocalypse Vice, two Blizzard, two Burst Shot.
yeah,
I think. Yeah,
yeah. The obvious thing to deal with right now is the Earth Stomp. So
three Burst Shot.
and
Sorry, three Burst
there it
Shot.
is. Yeah, Terror Pit gets rid of that.
Yeah, and that keeps
Johnson
Apocalypse
continues
Vice
to
live.
try to go the distance. Find blue mana. That's fun.
You do.
There's the Hulkus. Yep, knew it. All right.
Hulkus is one of those cards that makes this deck great at applying consistent pressure. So I might have to blow an Apocalypse Vice on this board.
Love a
Potentially.
floater, man. Way
Love
better
a
than
floater.
Walter, I'll tell you what.
Aqua Hulkus is the single best mid-range card in the game, for sure.
Yeah,
It's kind of what makes
absolutely.
the decks tick.
Which again, crazy that we just didn't see a lot of it in season one. But
There we go. The Apocalypse Vice that we knew we had, but it's nice to confirm that we weren't wrong.
yeah.
And Earth Stomp comes out of nowhere.
First stomp off the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Let's see if you have the snare pit. Is that those are the only real answers to this card, that or an APOC, right?
Yeah, it's Snare or Pit.
We've already seen
Um,
Proclamation, so that's a one of right now.
well, I
And
have enough mana
Transmog is
to
in your
where
mana.
Foul and Thrash Crawler both can get me Snare that I can play the same turn.
Yep.
So there are a lot of ways to find Miraculous Snare. And I'm
You don't want
hoping
to
I have one of
transmog my
them.
Earthstone?
I mean, it's not against a deck with only 8 spells, it's not high on my list of things to do.
Juliana hits mana, but yeah, foul and a snare get the job done.
Yep, you
I
have a lot of
forget
shields.
what I'm supposed to do with it. Almost throw it in graveyard. All right, so I have a large hand, and I'm
Yeah,
thinking I need to dump a lot of it before I get lost sold.
you know I'm too
Gotta
scared
be
to do
what's in
that.
my mind right now. I put my hand down, so clearly I'm in the tank.
Well, if you play
But
even one creature this turn, if that's somehow all you can play, like I have to deal with the creature instead of lost souling the other 2 cards, I think. I'm just under too
yeah,
much pressure of speed attackers killing me. Rebirth is
oh,
solid, dude.
rebirth, real good.
There you go. That's a
And
good
I think
card.
you might be yelling at me for some reason of like, why did that take so long? But
No, 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 no. Probably not. Not.
I don't know. You you slammed your foul on my board for some reason.
I probably just said, God, yeah, something I don't want to say on YouTube because we get demonetized.
the the demonetization of the non-monetized channel.
So here we go.
Hey,
Another snare.
yep, and I try to throw it in my graveyard again. A lot of shields I have.
Yeah. You have 8 shields.
I will say I'm kind of bummed
Andromeda.
now. I
Where
would
you
have
at?
loved to have rebirth that thrash crawler for a lucky ball.
True, that would have been even better than the last play. Because Lucky Ball's in the deck. Windax is not bad. Windax plus a
Windax,
dude.
good card. Yep.
Yeah.
Windax plus Holkus keeps my hand alive, gets rid of the guy. Things are looking up for tempo right now. This is
Do I have one of those
the
3 burst
draws are going well.
shots? I do.
Yep, there it
Nice.
is.
And now your deck is
Yep.
kind of getting to the point where it's almost getting a little bit low, right? So
Yeah,
the pressure is
yeah.
kind of on both of us.
I think I'm starting to get gassed out, and I'm
Ooh.
looking for
Speed attackers, right?
fast attackers. Yeah, for sure. Speed
How am you're
attackers.
gonna say it wrong right after I say it right? Oh my god.
Yeah, for the sake of it at this point.
I'm just
I know
hoping
who I am.
Pyrofighters are in shields. That's my hope.
Oh, this is funny because So on Lucky Ball in Japanese, it still has the numbers on it, so 2 and 3. And I look at Lucky Ball and I'm like, "Oh, the Japanese one lets you draw 3 cards, but it's the 3 or less shields." Like that's what the
Oh,
3's
okay, yeah.
printed on it for. Lucky Ball does
Got
the
it.
same thing in Japan that it did. But I said it very confidently, and then I remember both of you in the room going, "Wow, that's real good."
Oh yeah, you could just lie to us. We'd have no way of knowing. Oh my goodness, I don't have an answer to the lucky ball. It's just too
Oh,
big.
man. First shot. Yeah,
I'm dead to a
that's
pyro.
did I find it in 4 cards?
Yep.
Yes. Thank God. Yeah, and I play it
So
without
that
playing anything else. I just didn't play the pig down. I'm like, what? Maybe
hmm,
it's because I knew you were out of triggers? But I don't that's
that's
weird.
weird.
Yeah,
Oh wow, what a game. So here's an interesting thing that I'm just gonna go back to our faces.
yeah.
And I'm gonna update the bracket. Here y'all go.
Welcome,
Um
yeah, after, so round 3 in the top 16 has Light, Water, Nature or excuse me, no, not even a little bit. Water, Fire, Nature, Tempo taking it 2-0 over Deckout. Then got Phantomac beating Alzonius 2-0, and what's the other one?
sorry.
Water
I'm
Fire Rush
thinking
beating Foul 2-1. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we have Water, Fire Rush, Phantomac, Tempo, all three kind of aggressive decks, and then the fourth that you're going to see next week is going to be Hydrus and Light Water, Fire Rush. But let's talk about
Yeah.
this for a minute
Yeah, for sure.
because I remember the days after this match, I had the feeling that I made a horrible mistake in not playing mana in a certain turn, and my thinking is that I'm kind of gonna look at it because I think maybe I hadn't played mana the turn prior to burst shot, and that's why I couldn't answer the lucky ball along with the Hulkus. I thought it was something else. Weirdly, like I
Okay.
don't know.
So go back a little bit further on this turn. So you're at 7 because you had Thrash Crawlered into um Miraculous Snare. I remember that was the play prior or 2 turns prior. So Hocus here,
Lucky
Lucky
ball,
Ball.
yeah.
You're at 7.
Well, I need to go back the turn before to see what I did the turn before, right? Because this is the turn I couldn't
Correct.
answer.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So go back a few more.
Ah, jeez, might not be worth it.
Yeah, so you're at 8, which yeah, if you Thrash Crawler, yep, you Thrash
So
Crawler
I had to
this turn,
do.
get it, go to 7, which means you stayed at 7 the turn you burst shot. Uh,
I could go to 8, but I couldn't go to 9. So if my play was like burst shot and another snare, but I don't even know. I don't know where the misplay was. I remember feeling like there was something in one of these games that was egregiously wrong.
yeah, because you're at 7 here and you don't play mana this turn.
Huh.
You just burst shot and call it. Yep, you just tap 6 and burst shot.
Yeah, so I don't play mana. For whatever reason, not playing mana there was a mistake. I don't know what the other cards in my hand are. So then this turn you go with Hulkus Lucky Ball. And
Yeah,
then I burst shot eventually.
yeah, you're able to go to 8,
And then you kill
and then
me. And
you're
when you kill me, do I show what my hand is? Let's
let's
see.
find out.
I shake.
Are you showing the people list?
Yeah, right now. Yeah, I don't see it. Damn.
Yeah, yeah,
They're the top
your
few
hand.
cards, unless I'm spreading my deck, which I don't normally do. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll never know. I should
It's
have written
just
it down.
you shuffled it away. You're like,
Yeah,
get it out of here.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
yeah, because I mean, we'd seen technically 2 snares at this point, or yeah, it was just 2 because you played the first one, you fouled it back, and then you thrash call it the one out of mana. So you'd only seen 2 at that point. So I mean, it's reasonable to think you had the third one in your hand, maybe.
well, maybe. I
But
mean, that's the thing about these kind of games, right? Because I remember after this, like we played most of the top 16, or actually all of it. We'll just say that we played all of it that night. And I remember
yeah,
thinking that whatever I did in this match was the worst play I made all day. And now, like looking at it from a spectator's perspective, it's like invisible. That's I think a
yeah,
good point to how complicated this game is. Most of
yeah,
the misplays
absolutely.
people make are in like invisible. Like unless you know, like it's about like the future lines, thinking ahead with the mana decisions. Like it's manaing the wrong thing 5 turns early, it's skipping one turn or playing one too many cards in mana. Those are the tiny misplays that you don't even see that wind up costing the game. Because I was
Yeah,
convinced that I did something here that cost me the game, or at least made my odds go from like 50 to 20, and like I don't know what it was. Who knows?
right. And that's because it's so minor. You think about, I mean, that was that was a mana decision 2 turns prior.
Hmm.
So it's so hard to think because think about it from like a competitive chess standpoint. Those players play 5, 6, 7 turns ahead, if not more.
Yeah.
And in this case, we're typically just focused on reacting to whatever the last play was, and maybe thinking a turn ahead, at least in terms of what we're trying to accomplish. But
Yeah.
not seeing what I could have potentially put on board. You being off of a mana and just thinking, oh, I should hold these cards because they're more valuable valuable to me in hand. Yeah, definitely. Could have lowered that percentage point there, but it's
Yeah.
it's again, like you said, it's invisible.
I
Whether
thought
it did or
the
didn't make a difference, there's no
yeah.
way to truly look at it and know. It's not as obvious as the not going for Sky Sword on the Dimension Gate play from a few weeks ago, or uh, whatever the Alzonius. I'm sure you and Spencer spoke about it. Yeah, what those plays look like as well.
Yeah. Really interesting stuff, but hope y'all enjoyed. That was pretty close. I mean, it was a 2-0, but it felt like Deckout had a lot more options, and it was really cool to see, especially a lot of the new cards in Waterfire Nature Tempo shine, like Lucky Balls, Earth Stomp Giants. I think Lucky Ball was in last season, but
It
Rebirth
was,
especially
yeah,
was dope on the foul. I might have been
yeah.
mad that I even played the foul against that. I was like, I shouldn't have even risked having foul on boards.
Or
But yeah,
this RK de la Serna drop. That was fun.
yeah. I felt bad
Took
about
both
that,
of
but I
you and me.
was yeah, that was one of those plays that hurt, but I was like, I had to do it. So, but yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
for sure.
Waterfire Nature
Yeah,
Tempo. What a comeback story after losing in round one in season one. It is in the top four.
top 8.
You're right. We actually, all
Yep.
right, that's not a spoiler. We haven't played top eight yet. We have no idea what's gonna happen. It's in the one of the first four decks in the top eight, and it'll be up against Hydrus and Rush.
There it is. Yeah, no, it's
It's
so
yeah.
whether it wins or not, maybe Christian is preluding to something. I don't know. We haven't
Who
played it yet
knows?
as of
I mean,
recording this, so
for my money,
stay tuned.
Waterfire Nature Tempo has its work cut out for it, no matter which deck wins between Hydrus and Rush, because they're both pretty quick. So we'll have to
Absolutely.
see how that goes.
Absolutely. Yeah, stay tuned, guys. Next week, I will be commentating with Ben Rowe. Let this be the announcement for that now. Ben Rowe, aka Garabon, and I will be narrating the match between uh, Lightwater Fire Rush versus Hydrus. So stay tuned for that. We'll have some deck profiles for you coming at you next week. And until next time, guys.
Peach.